Unit 1, Vedic culture in North India and megalithic culture in South India. Learning objectives of this lesson were to know the origin and migration of Aryans into India, to identify the sources of study relating to the Vedic age, to understand the evolution of political, economic and religious structures in Rig Vedic and later Vedic societies, to know the regions inhabited by both early and later Vedic people, to make the differences between early and later Vedic periods, to understand the megalithic Iron Age culture in Tamil Nadu. Vedic Age. The first phase of urbanization in India came to an end with the decline of Indus civilization. In last term we studied about Indus civilization. After that civilization, a new era called Vedic Age began with the arrival of Aryans. Vedic Age. It is a period in the history of India between 1500 BC to 600 BC. It gets its name from 4 Vedas. The 4 Vedas are Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva. Aryans came from Central Asia and several waves of migration through Khyber Pass of Hindu Kush mountains. Who were Aryans? The Aryans were Indo-Aryan language speaking, semi-nomadic pastoralist. Pastoralist means a sheep or cattle farmer. They came from Central Asia and several waves of migration through Khyber Pass of Hindu Kush mountains. Though cattle rearing was their occupation, they also practiced slash and burn agriculture. Slash and burn agriculture is a farming method that involves clearing the land by cutting and burning all the trees and plants on it. Cultivation is done there for a short time and the land is abandoned. That is, the land is left. People then move to a new piece of land for cultivation. Here the map shows the extent of Vedic culture in India. Dark green color shows the places of early Vedic period extension and the light green color shows the places of later Vedic period extension. Time, spread and sources. Geographical range is North India. Period is called Iron Age because the tools are made with iron. Time from 1500 BC to 600 BC. Sources Vedic literature that are written records. Nature of civilization is rural. The classification of Vedic age. There are 2 phases of Vedic age. One is early Vedic period or Rig Vedic period. The other one is later Vedic period. Early Vedic period from 1500 to 1000 BC and the later Vedic period is from 1000 to 600 BC. Aryans and their home in India. Aryans of the Rig Vedic period were semi-nomadic pastoral people with cattle as their main source of wealth. In Rig Vedic time, the Aryan homeland was Punjab, which was called Sapta Sindhu, the land of 7 rivers. Around 1000 BC, Aryans in India moved eastward and settled in Indo-Gangetic plain. Use of iron axes and plows became widespread. Sources. Vedic literature can be classified into 2 broad categories, Shrutis and Smritis. The Shrutis comprise the 4 Vedas, the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas and the Upanishad. They are considered sacred, eternal and an unquestionable truth. Shruti means listening or unwritten. Once they were transmitted orally through generation, that is from Guru to Sishyas and Sishyas to next generation only through orally. Smritis, a body of text containing teachings on religion such as Itihasas, Puranas, Tantras and Agamas. Smritis are not eternal, they are constantly revised according to the time. Smriti means definite and written literature. That is, we have a proof for it. Do you know, children, our national motto Satyameva Jayate, that is, truth alone triumphs, is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. Archaeological sources. Material remains such as iron implements and pottery from the archaeological sites in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan along the Indus and Ganges have been recovered. Vedic culture, polity and society. The Rig Vedic polity was kinship based, that is, blood relationship based. Kula was the basic unit of the polity. It was under a head called Kulapati. Several families joined together to form a grama. Grama was headed by Gramani. A group of villages was called Vis and was headed by Vishyapati. Rajan was the head of Jana, the tribe, and he was addressed as Janasya Gopa, the guardian of the people. There were several tribal kingdoms, that is Rashtra's, during Rig Vedic period were Bharatas, Mastyas and Puras. The power of king in early Vedic period. The main responsibility of the Rajan, king, was to protect his tribe, the people. His powers were limited by tribal assemblies, namely Vidata, Sabha, Samiti and Gana. Vidata, the oldest tribal assembly, Sabha as a council of elders and Samiti is the assembly of people. The king appointed a Prohit, chief priest, to assist him. In economic, political and military matters, the king was assisted by Senani, army chief. Gramani was the leader of village. Bali was a voluntary contribution of the people to the king. The power of king in later Vedic period. In the monarchical form of government, the power of king increased and he performed various rituals and sacrifices to make his position strong. The importance of Samiti and Sabha diminished and the Vidata completely disappeared. New states emerged. Bali was treated as tax and collected regularly, that is, 1/6 of agricultural produce or cattle for a person is given as tax to the king. Kuru and Panchala kingdom flourished. New large cities like Ayodhya, Indraprastha and Mathura also emerged. Let's see the social organization of Vedic period. The Vedic family was patriarchal. Patriarchal means the society controlled by men. The fair complexed Aryans distinguished themselves from dark complexed non-Aryans. Within the early Vedic society, there were three divisions, also called as Treyi. The general public were called Vis, the warrior class was called Kshatriyas, and the priestly class was called Brahmanas. At a later stage, when the Aryans had to accommodate non-Aryan skilled workers in their social arrangement, a rigid fourfold Varna system was developed. That is, the priestly Brahmanas, the warrior Kshatriyas, and the land-owning Vaishyas, and the skilled workers Sudras. Thus, a graded social order emerged.